that way.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, let me move on to the issue of Congressman Peter King. People have been comparing him to McCarthy and a witch hunt. We just played the words of Keith Ellison about Hamdani, who, in fact, his name was actually inserted into the Patriot Act. What is your reaction?
Oh, my gosh, I know that situation. I know that situation very well. The gentleman about which he is speaking was honored as a great hero. There was never any question raised about his religion. I was the person, I think, who first said the evening of September 11 that we shouldn't hold this against the Arab community, the Muslim community. We should focus on the individuals and the groups that were involved and not participate in group blame. I think Pete King performed a great service for this country, and I think we should all thank him. I wish that hearing had been held 3 years ago. Maybe there wouldn't have been an attack like the one at Fort Hood if we had had a hearing like this. Maybe the people who made the decisions to move the major along would have not made those decisions if they hadn't been so frightened that they would be put under the kind of scrutiny that Pete King was put under, because he just raised a very legitimate question. And I talked to Pete, several times before the hearings about it.
Mm-hmm. But why do you think there's this fear? Pete has been very clear on this program. I've interviewed him many times about these hearings in saying this is not against the Muslim community. This is against the radicalization, radical Islamists that want to bring harm to our country. And it seems that there is a great fear or an unwillingness to even look at the reality that does exist out there. Why do you think that is, Mr. Mayor?
Well, I have to believe that it's political because, look, we have enough ability to think in a complex way to understand that when you say Islamic extremists, you are not talking about the religion of Islam. You're not talking about Muslims in general. It is a small group, but it's a very dangerous small group. And it's a small group that, beyond its numbers, can do catastrophic things. September 11 is only one example. With the possibility of nuclear material now, these people could do far worse damage. So homegrown Islamic terrorism is something that is a cause of concern. It reminds me, and I told this to Pete, it reminds me of when I was pursuing the mafia as U.S. attorney. I got attacked by Italian-American groups for using the word mafia. They said to me I was using a word that was not allowed to be used by the Justice Department because it smeared all Italians. And I said, the heck with that. It doesn't smear all Italians. It smears Italians who are part of the mafia. And if you've got a problem with that, you better come over on the other side.
All right, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, and the reality is, I think it helps to face these things rather than to hide them.
All right, Mr. Mayor, thanks so much for being with us tonight. We appreciate it. And when we come back, the very